And welcome back to the Boundary Corner podcast, along with my partners Brian Siegler and Jonathan Talley. I am Curtis Wilson, and this episode is brought to you by Dr. Jeremy Counts at the Main Street Pharmacy, your friendly neighborhood pharmacy in Blacksburg, 301 South Main Street. Man, 4 in a row.
4 in a row, man. It's like almost for his season.
I mean, that's the way it feels, man. But we're wrapping up spring ball. Got a great interview tonight. Going to talk a little portal stuff. We have all been busy as heck, as is our guest tonight. I got to catch my breath. I mean, usually I'm like in here 20 minutes before we get to chill. Everybody rolling in here about 2 minutes before we go live.
Working, man. Everybody working. That's a good thing, though. That's what we do, man. That's why we here.
That's that time of year, man.
We here for the people. We know it's the off season, but as we say, it ain't no off season, baby.
Off season, baby.
Ain't no off season.
No off season at all. Well, tonight, folks, if you didn't get to see the marker and you're just joining us, we do have a very special interview with a young man who is hoping over the next, 5 days, because it's Tuesday, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. To hear his name called for the NFL draft. He comes to us by Nansemond River High School, Suffolk, Virginia. Number 1 in your hearts, number 0 in your programs as a 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, defensive tackle Pheldarius Payne.
Hello, how y'all doing? Thank y'all for having me.
Thanks for coming on, Pheldarius. How you been doing?
I've been doing good overall. Just a lot of time management over these past few weeks.
Love it, man. Love it. We're going to talk about that later, but we really appreciate you taking some time tonight to jump on with us. Not only to talk about what's coming up in your future here in the next few days, but just kind of give a little background on who you are, your time with the Hokies, little stories, ins and out like that. So again, we really appreciate you taking the time tonight. And I'm going to kick it off with this. Coming out of high school, you went to JUCO route. And you went to a JUCO that is a powerhouse, Lackawanna College up in Pennsylvania. The 2 years you guys were there, 21-1. You had some really good seasons, collecting, sacks, tackles for loss. How do you feel that going to a JUCO helped with your development coming out of high school?
I feel like JUCO really helped me fundamental-wise. Like Coach Duda, he's a very well-known coach in the JUCO world and in the football world in general. Like if I go somewhere and I say I was at Lackawanna under Coach Duda, they say, yeah, we know who that is. And him being the D-line coach and the head coach, he started at ground one and was really building it up. And we didn't have what probably any division have. Like I don't even think we had a sled, if I'm being honest, but the stuff we did was very good. That I believe it helped me a lot.
Awesome. I love hearing that because, it is one of those things you had to make a decision on coming out of high school because, I couldn't tell you all your offers. I'm sure you had places to go that you could have, but going that route. And again, like you just mentioned, I love hearing that you went somewhere like that helped fundamentally. Obviously, you learned that winning mentality down there, and it's awesome to hear that.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, man. So y'all didn't introduce him quite right, man. When you introduced him, you're supposed to call him Major Payne.
Major
what I'm saying? Because everybody's seen what he did when he on the field. He's out there wreaking havoc. We talked about, you in high school, you coming out of high school, went the JUCO route. And then I think, most people from local people know who you are. Now you get on the big stage. You start getting recruited. Commit to Nebraska. You go up there. Now, while you were being recruited, looks like you were recruited a little bit by Penn State. Now, did you ever run into Coach Pry while you were being recruited by Penn State when he was there?
Oh yes, I ran into him a few times, and I feel like we should have. But I'm happy it did happen when it did.
Now you broke up just a little bit. You said what happened now?
Oh, we ran into each other a few times, and I feel like I should have played under his scheme a few times, and I'm happy that I did end up under his scheme, his play style, and under his philosophy.
Well, man, I don't know about nobody else, but I always say it's always God timing. You know, I ain't trying to push nothing on nobody else, but that's just what I say. And I'm glad you did not go to Penn State. They got some weird shit going on up there. I'm glad Coach Pry's away from them. I'm glad that you came home where you belong. So, God's timing, man. We're glad that you and Coach Pry did meet and then finally link up with Virginia Tech.
Yeah, so his time is never wrong.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
It's true.
Was during that second recruitment, were you ever contacted by Virginia Tech at that point, or was it more like the relationship with Coach Pry that kind of ultimately led to that recruitment down the road?
Really, I believe just talking to Coach Pry. So like you talking about when I hit the portal?
Yeah, well, when you first were getting recruited by Nebraska, did Virginia Tech reach out to you during that period, or did you not really hear from Virginia Tech until Coach Pry took over?
They sent me like I believe it was like a camp letter, or I believe I had like one letter from them, but I never heard anything physical from them or never reached out. So I didn't take it as like real interest or anything. So it was just. Yes, yeah, but I did receive I believe it was like a camp letter.
Well, we're gonna say it wasn't you. We had some weird stuff going on at that time. You know what I'm saying? So don't even worry about it. But that's okay though. Next, I guess this is kind of off script. When we was talking earlier, we kind of asked you about some shout outs, man. I feel like you need to give a shout out to your hairdresser, man. Because I told you, I said every time I see you, you know what I'm saying, you got the locks coming from under the helmet. They're always looking fresh. So who keep you looking like that?
My sister, she does a pretty good job of keeping me up to date. Even if she come up like a game day weekend, we'll probably play Saturday and she'll stay through Sunday just to give me a nice little retwist and make sure I'm A-okay.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That is what's up.
Yeah, man. She's taking good care of you. I like to hear that. You said she's kind of the one for the whole family too, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, she do it all. She a jack of all trades, and she does everybody here. The only person she can't do is her own. I know that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. All right, so we're going to talk about a little bit of your time at Nebraska here real quick. When we look at the fan bases of Nebraska and Virginia Tech, you got to see a little bit of similarity. They're very passionate fan bases, kind of both of those fan bases, and always good stadium noise there. But I want to talk a little bit about that 21 season, because that seems to be a season that is an anomaly in college football, because that team had 9 losses, but none of them by double digits. 8 of them by less than a touchdown. That's got to be a frustrating season to endure, because you're that close to being, taking a step there, and it's you just can't quite get over the hump.
Yeah, so beginning of the season, during camp and even during the COVID season, I'm when we got off the COVID season going into next year, I'm this is a national championship team right here. That's what I was thinking. And then come the season, we're losing to I think a number 3 Ohio State team by a field goal, or losing to very good Ohio State team. Michigan team by losing to both of those teams by a field goal or a touchdown. I'm man. And then we would be real close to Illinois the first game, and I'm oh, we got this. And then we end up falling off, and it's all off of it'll be one crazy play. We'll be having a good game, and next thing you know, boom, kickoff return, last second. It's what can we do?
That's got to break your spirit. I mean, it says something about the makeup of the team that, throughout the whole season, you kept keeping them close games, because at some point when they start staggering themselves, that's, keeping the locker room together has got to be a big deal there.
Yeah, definitely because you practice a lot, between all the meetings, and you so many heartbreaking losses. It just,
yeah.
It was very tough, but I'm happy that team, we stuck together. The outside noise from fans and opposite teams and just the whole entire country can get. So.
Yeah, I know sometimes, you were talking about the meetings and stuff like that. At some point, there's only so much you can talk about, getting over the hump, and like you just like every week it's like you hear the same thing. You got to try to say it in a different way, or keep that motivation in a different way. So I mean, testament to that team and that squad for being able to stick it out and play tough, from game 1 all the way to game 12 there.
Yes, sir, yeah. You should have heard the post game speeches, because you can't change up the post game speech by so much. You playing elite teams and only losing by this much. It's like, oh, we this close, but this close don't ever get the job done. But
Yeah.
it was a great coaching staff, great players. But I feel bad for like just the coaches, because we put in a lot of work. The players put in a lot of work, but sucks to see coaches like don't get out what they put in.
I hear that, man. Yeah, so much of it is so much. It's a ton of work, and you guys giving complete effort, complete buy-in, and then that type of season happened where it's like, what did we do wrong? One fluke play, one weird something happened in multiple games. One of those things. I'm sure it's like we get outplayed. Hip your hat. They were better than us today on the field. Some of the things that happened that season, in my life, I've never seen. I've been watching college football since I was like 8 years old. I've never seen a season like that. But I'm gonna get off that, because the right thing happened. As years ago, God's plan happened. You get into the portal in 2022, and obviously, as you just mentioned, you had some connections with Coach Pry during your JUCO recruitment at Lackawanna before you went to Nebraska. But other than coming back to the state of Virginia, what else was the sell to Coach Pry at that point in time to get you to effectively, commit to the Hokies, sign the letter, and show up in Blacksburg in January 2022?
It wasn't much of a pitch. I know what Coach Pry is about. I know his scheme. When I found out he was running the same, like not the same as that scheme, but doing what he does and his style of play, it wasn't much talk. Like I committed pretty early. Like it wasn't nationally known that I committed early, but it wasn't many talks before I told him. It probably was like the first 2 talks I told him I'll go out to Blacksburg and see what it's, because I'm from Virginia, but I've never been to Blacksburg. So I just told him like I'll come see there, but I'm basically committed. Like I know what you're about. I know how you are as a coach, and yeah, that's basically it. He didn't have to sell me nothing.
Love hearing that.
Yep, definitely, man. So, we riding the wave. You coming home. You coming back to the state of Virginia. Fans are excited because we getting some Power 5 help to come in here at a place of need. We got Mr. Payne gonna be holding it down for us, and then adversity hits. Mid-July, you get injured. A pretty gruesome injury. You tear your Achilles. What helped you stay motivated when you did that at that point in your career?
Just knowing I had a lot to prove, a lot to gain, and just really put my head down and work, and just figure, like y'all said, how we said, God never makes a mistake. So I'm just thinking, I did think like, dang, why me? But I wasn't, you guys, anybody, like throughout that period, I was still smiling, walking around, because at the end of the day, he doesn't make any mistakes. What's meant for me is what I get. So that's how I carried it. And I believe it helped me throughout the time. And just knowing that I was going to come back for another season. I'm not dead. I'm living. So
yeah,
I'm living. So it could be a lot worse. That's how I look at it.
Well, man, listen, I'm going to tell you this. I'm 38 years old, and I was walking down the road and strained my Achilles, and I felt like I was dead. So if you tore yours and you were still smiling, hey, you a bad man.
That's right.
You're a bad man. I'm talking about, I'm still struggling with it. It's been like 2.5 weeks. And that thing be tender. It'd be hard to put any weight on it. So, yeah, man, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, injuries are crazy because they can really it's not just the physical. Sometimes it's the mental piece too. Like just keeping your spirits up, making sure that you're doing the right things in rehab, not rushing the rehab too much. Because you mentally you're like, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm starting to feel better. I'm ready to go. But like making sure you're going through the process and making sure you're not missing a step in that process. So it's a lot of mental in there along with the physical. But let's talk about that comeback though, because everybody loves a good comeback, right? All right, so it's a major injury. It's a long rehab. You start the season, probably not 100% at that point. I'm guessing, still kind of working yourself back into football shape, right? But then we get to Pitt, and we get to Marshall. That I feel like that's when you really started making a big impact on the field again. It looked like you really got your legs back under you. What was the most difficult part of kind of ramping back up after your injury, and at what point did you start feeling like yourself again?
Really, that Marshall game is when I started feeling like myself, and just overall, it was just I don't think it was too hard getting back into the game because I was just so happy because at the end of the day, I just loved this game. So it felt like a little kid just playing football, if I'm be honest. So it was nothing that was too terrible. Like the worst part was coming back, like doing mat drills and spring ball, because that's when it was like early run. It was a crazy experience, but
yeah,
just getting used to this D tackle position, and because I never played D tackle at this level until I got here, so it was just getting used to the D tackle. That was probably the biggest thing I had to get used to after coming back off of the injury, because that's like battling two different things. But I was just happy to play. I was just smiling, just getting on the bus, because a year ago I was ODU, had my feet kicked up in one of the old teammates' apartment, and just watching the game. And I'm like, dang, like we supposed to be at the game. So I was just happy.
I mean, I love hearing that, because you talk about playing like a kid, and it impresses me even more to hear you talk about learning how to play D tackle, because let's be realistic here. Not only did you have a coming out party against Pitt, the whole team did, because you could have fooled us that you didn't know how to play defensive tackle before then, because I mean, rushing the passer, shooting gaps, causing disruption in the backfield, causing tackles for loss. And let's look at that game, particularly the Pitt game, because that game, it changed a lot for you. Your rotation got heavier. You started playing a lot more, but it changed a lot for the team. Like that was that game. I think us three sit here after that game and said, something's happened. Something's happened with this team. And it was something. Did anything happen ahead of that game, or was it just all the building blocks Coach Pride and the coaching staff had been talking to y'all, and it came together and came to fruition?
Before that?
Well,
was it Marshall? Did we play Marshall the week before that?
The Marshall was the week before that, where y'all defensively y'all had an unbelievable game, and then that next week was Pitt. Y'all go in 1-3, and I mean, you could have fooled us. We were running the Hokies were running 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that Marshall game, y'all saw how it ended. It was a very like tough loss. So going into that week was just more of like, let's do what the coaches said. They always put out a layout. It was pretty good coaching. So we just followed their layout that week and really just stuck to it throughout the week, hit stuff a little bit harder, and really, it was really just following the coach's lead and doing what we were supposed to do from the jump. Because I believe that game, I think the running game, they might have had around 200 yards rushing, I believe. Mm-hmm. Or it was something amazing. And then the defense, we was just playing all 11 hats of the ball, just flying around. And you could just feel the energy on the sideline before the game. You could just feel like we're here, we're coming.
Man, yeah, I love hearing that.
Yeah, go ahead, Curtis.
Well, I was just saying, I love hearing that it was just like after that Marshall loss, it wasn't man, how did we lose that game? We played good. When we lost that game, it was, no, we're going to hit it harder. We're going to go harder. We're going to focus on what our coaches are telling us. And
Curtis, you know what I like most about that game?
What did you like most about that game?
I like that 38 rushing yards total for Pitt.
Oh,
that's what I like about that game.
Yeah. Well, the major pain on here with us was the guy getting in that backfield, and that's why they couldn't run. All right. Before we get to the road to the draft, I got to ask a question, because I came up, I watched you in the Military Bowl. I was soaked. I had a great time. But we all know about the gift bag. We all know y'all get What was the coolest thing at the Military Bowl y'all got?
It might be between we got this jacket on Christmas, and it was like a black and gray camouflage jacket with the VT. It's probably the best thing I've had my whole entire college career, like gear wise, and just me. The Air Force Ones was just you can't beat no Air Force Ones when you just getting those for playing football at the end of the day. Like it's a reward, but it was nice seeing those.
Man, so I got kids, man. I got an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old, and when they get the Air Force, like when we got shoes, we just put them on and walk. Do you walk funny so you don't crease yours?
Yeah, the whole entire time because we did multiple events in them, and I remember we was going to the bowling alley, and I was like, because we got off the bus, and I'm like the third or fourth bus, and we had to walk down, and there was some dirt beside, and I'm like, I gotta walk this certain type of way. I usually put like I don't do this to my Air Force Ones, but I usually put like these crease enforcers so that my shoe don't crease. But it was weird walking in them.
That's what I was about to say, because usually y'all got the crease enforcers, but if you got them while you was there, I'm like, did you have them? How did you manage when you out here walking around in this dirt and grime and all of this stuff? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a big deal. All of the listeners, man, if you don't know do your homework on having Air Force Ones and getting them dirty, increased. Do your homework on that.
After that, they basically done.
It's over with. It's over with. You get a crease in Air Force One. It ain't nothing to them but a clean white shoe. If you get a crease in them, you got to go buy a new pair. So, hey, if y'all don't wear Air Force Ones, y'all need to contact Mr. Payne. He's going to tell you how to keep them clean and not creasing.
There we go.
All right, we're going to switch gears a little bit.
We can't have no dirty forces, man. No
dirty forces, man.
No creases, no dirty. Okay, got
dirty forces is a big no-no. So we're going to shift gears a little bit, man. We're going to talk about some important stuff. So we had a little bit of a postponement in getting to meet you and talk with you, which is awesome because, Travis informed us that you had some visits to go to. Because, I mean, we just some old guys sitting at home going to work every day. Hey, you're a young man. You getting ready for one of the biggest things in your life, man. You getting ready for the NFL draft. So, congratulations, number one. We was told that you were out, doing some visits. So, how did that go? If you don't mind us asking.
I really enjoyed the experience and seeing different things in different cities, and just overall, it was fun. And I know one of the days I had to wake up like super early, but overall, like I can't complain. I'm blessed. Like just waking up at 5:30, but I'm still at this NFL team. A lot of people, even in this process, don't get to do that. So it was just an amazing experience to see how some of the other NFL players live. Got to sit in one of the NFL D-line meetings, and I like met some good D-linemen. I was like, yeah, I could live this lifestyle, get used to watching this film, breaking it down with these guys, talking this different type of language, and just enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, we saw some tweets out there. Was the Giants one of the stops you made there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I enjoyed the Giants. It was a good facility, good people. So yeah, it was nice. The food was good up there.
There we go.
It was nice. Yeah, the food was real good.
Like I told you, man, it's too cold up there. You ain't trying to go up north. Hey, I told you where you need to be. If that's what happened, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna buy a jersey. That's all I'm gonna say.
There you go.
Well, let's take it to the pro day because that was a big day for you too, right? So like, we had you. They had you clocked at a 4.85 40, 1.65 10-yard split. Great numbers across the board for you.
Hold on. By the way, both of those were second. Like looking at the guys that went to the combine, your split and your 40 were second amongst all those guys who went there.
That's crazy,
dude. You were balling that day.
That's crazy.
Sorry, Brian. I'm sorry.
You're good. I like you. Add a little bit of extra color in there. I like that.
But when they saw the numbers, like I looked up the combine and I'm like, dude. When I saw that 1.65, I'm like, that's elite for defensive tackles. Like that's elite.
Yeah.
And I looked it up and it was just like, damn, that was really elite. Sorry, Brian, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. I appreciate you. You had that in there. But I think, just looking at that, like, so just wonder where you've been working out and who you've been working out with during this pre-draft process.
I'm working at a prolific park out in Greensboro. I don't know if you know Ricky Proel. He's played receiver for
Yeah.
the Panthers. Yes, yeah, that's his facility. But it's guy go by Chris Kennedy. He was my trainer there. Big speed guy. So he helped quality work, and yes, he helped a lot because I ain't never run track. You know, I barely run 40 yards. So yes, he helped. He helped a lot.
Now, it's kind of wild, like, you know, getting with those speed guys and kind of getting that. What's the difference in like preparing for that type of workout versus like something you would do in the spring?
A lot more stretching because overall, I play D line. We're not running too far, too fast. A lot of short distance, quick bursts. So just 40 yards is pretty far for a D lineman. So just overall, just turning the switch on that I have to run a little bit longer in different type of lead cycles and different type of stride length. It's just overall just different. But the lifting part was about the same. So we didn't do as much heavy lifting. We did different types of lifting.
Nice. And again, that was Prolific Park down in Greensboro. Obviously, we got listeners down in that area. So if you got a kid, or I'm assuming they do a lot of there's Chris Lester. Definitely check them out there. We just mentioned a few minutes ago, you know, you had your visit with the Giants. Obviously that was very, very, very public, we should say, because you put your name in. That was like Yahoo, big hit, boom. He went and saw the Giants. So if you're allowed to say, what other teams have you been in contact with? Where else have you went and visited? We know Tally's a Titans fan. I'm a Niners fan. Siegel over here is a Colts fan. I mean, we just, just wondering.
Well, I'll tell you, the only team I haven't talked to was the Colts. But I've talked to
Come on, Chris Ballard. Get with it, man.
I've talked to a good amount of teams, though. It could be anywhere from like 15 to like 20 something. Before, like I told y'all today, I hopped on the phone with 6 or 5 different teams. So it's been, and the day before I hopped on, like I believe the same amount, 5 to 6. So every day it's a different number. So I honestly lost count of how many teams I've talked to, but I've been blessed and got good contacts with like different coaches, a lot of different notes I've picked up and what could help me succeed at the next level. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to talk to those guys.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So we definitely are tracking what you're doing, tracking your career, like I'm sure all the Hokie Nation will be. Man, we got to give a huge shout out to, not just you, but your whole defensive line and defense for the year, man. Y'all could have packed it up. You know what I'm saying? Like you lose that tough game to Rutgers. I mean, I think we might have gave it like 16 passing yards, something stupid. We lose this game to Marshall. We already talked about. We were all there at the Purdue game. We know how that went, going into a flood and tornadoes and whatever happened. Like, bro, it got weird during the beginning of the season, and it seems like guys like yourself, senior leaders on the team, held the team down, got everybody focused, and got us back on track. So us being Tech fans, man, like we really appreciate your contribution to Virginia Tech, what you done. I mean, for real, I think we'll look back at last season and say that was the turning point in the program.
I think that was a big I think that was a big emphasis on this year, just to get Virginia Tech back to where Virginia Tech's supposed to be. And I'm excited for this year, especially with that 12-team playoff. I'm very excited for them boys, and I think they're gonna do very good. I got a high hope for this team.
Yeah, I like what we got coming in. I like what everybody coming back. I mean, that's those two pieces I think have been really big, and we like Tally said, we appreciate you laying that groundwork, and being a big part of the turnaround because you saw how it went with Nebraska in 21. I mean, it's easy to run off games and lose ones that you feel like you should have won or could have won, and I appreciate y'all really sticking with it and playing together and really get Virginia Tech back on the map here. We really appreciate that.
Yeah,
100%. I'm happy to be a part of Hokie Nation. I'm just excited that everybody was welcoming with open arms, and just happy to be back home and just really enjoyed it. It was great to be a part of Hokie Nation and be in Blacksburg, Virginia, and wearing that Virginia Tech.
And it's true, man. And Brian said something here just a second ago about laying the foundation. I think what you had to go through in 2022, and I think you probably laid something for the guys in that room because you were one of the older guys in that room. You were one of those leaders, and that whole thing of at Nebraska we lost. I got hurt. I kept working. I kept coming back. And now it's like, look where we were last year. Look where we are this year in yourself. Going into 2023, there is a plan out there and we know that, but we're all human beings. We all can question things because why did I tear my Achilles? Now I got to come back and then doing what you did, roughly 8 months later, you're sitting here, you're being contacted by NFL teams. They're flying you in, you're sitting in, and it's unbelievable, man, to see that. And, we wish nothing but the best for you. We wish you blessings. But we got one more question to ask you.
Hold on, before you go to that question, Curtis, I gotta say this.
I say it
because we had last year. Was it last year?
That's true.
Yeah, last year we had Connor on here.
That's Shamari on.
We had Shamari on before the draft, and then look what happened. He gets drafted by the Chiefs.
Get him a ring.
Get him some starts. I'm just saying. I ain't saying that BCP is the magic touch, but we already know what's gonna happen. Everybody who listening already know what's gonna happen. So all I'm saying is when you get rich and famous, man, just come back. That's all we ask. Come back to the spring game and just sit down with us. That's all we ask.
I definitely come back.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Curtis.
All right, Brian, this is Brian's question because he thought of this years ago. If every coach, every player that's ever come on with us, we have these couple questions.
Current, former, and otherwise. All right.
Exactly.
All right, you got to give me one go-to spot for food in Blacksburg that everybody knows about, and then give me your dark horse, the spot that you go to all the time but everybody else sleeps on.
So the go-to, I'm a big sweet guy. Do y'all know about Boardwalk? That might be a sleeper. I don't know.
I heard of Boardwalk.
I don't know nothing about it.
Boardwalk might be a sleeper. Boardwalk might be a sleeper.
Oh, my part, dude. I got to put that in my as my sleeper.
It might be a sleeper for us. It might not be a sleeper for folks on campus right now, but it's a sleeper for us old folks.
Oh man,
Boardwalk BT. Yeah, I shot them out too. That's a good. I actually got the fried Oreos after me and two other of my buddies, Matt and Nate. Our picture up there in there.
All right.
We went there all throughout the camp. Like when we had them off days, we had to make sure it was before the off day because when we came back, it was crazy. But it was on the off day during so say if we had a good training week of camp, we would go there and get them fried Oreos. It was a must. Nice weather. The students wasn't back. It was how Blacksburg is when the students not back. So
yeah,
we was out there all day. But that's my sleeper pick, I guess.
All right.
Then I had another sleeper pick.
Oh, we got two sleepers here. Hold on.
Yeah, I was vegetarian for a while, so it was this one burger at what's the place beside PK's? Y'all?
Oh gosh.
Oh, hang on.
Hold on.
They make their bread in house.
Oh, this man's serious.
He's very serious. Yes.
This man that said he came up here, he was vegan, eating vegan burgers with fresh made bread and fried donuts.
Man,
we've been asking the wrong people about food.
Yeah, I'm about to say I'm a big food guy, but I'll say I don't know the name of that place, and I feel bad because I was going there also.
Is that the Maroon Door?
The Maroon Door. There we go. Yes, sir. Yeah. When I was vegetarian, I used to get that mushroom burger. most of my time at
All
Virginia
right.
Tech. And then the big go-to, it's like every time I'm up there, I need those PK wing bite. Like when I went up to the spring game, it was a must stop. When I went up there for a spring practice, must stop. When I went there for a pro day, must stop. Those PK wing bites. People make
Wing
boneless
bites.
wings, but those wing bites they cut up them chicken thighs pretty. I don't know.
What's the go-to sauce for you?
I like that sweet chili, and a lot of guys I be with like the cheetah wings, but I'm a sweet chili guy.
And hold
on, Brian.
Go ahead.
Before we wrap up here, can you get I've never seen this place. Can you get that up on screen? The boardwalk.
Oh, the boardwalk. Hang on.
Because I'm like we gonna get.
So you over there Googling it?
Oh, yes.
You got to know what you finna go up there.
Huh? Yeah, you got to go to their Instagram and tell them Pheldarius sent you. That place is.
All right, we'll do.
Hey, we finna talk JC Price. He done been on here too. Get all them D linemen down there to the boardwalk where the fried Oreos at. Because if they was down there fucking up. If they down there fucking up fried Oreos and then they play like he was playing when he came back, we need everybody to eat fried Oreos. Get your picture. God,
fried Oreos, fried Twinkies, fried
they got it all.
Cake.
Oh my gosh. Oh, calm down.
Yeah, you Sandman.
Yeah, you was gonna have to. You eating that? You gonna have to play D. You gonna have to play D tackle. But Darius came in as a running back.
But for Darius, how many fried Oreos did you have before you ran at 485?
Oh no, I couldn't eat any. That was the treat after.
That's what's up.
That is what's up. By the way, so new sweet dessert spot down in Blacksburg, the boardwalk that's on Draper. I get
it's right across from Benny's, like right across.
There you go.
All right.
So if you get the pizza, the other friend get the sweets.
Oh man,
tell them
fried Oreos and a Benny's pizza, man. That's a deadly combo there.
Hey, you sound like you at the fair. If you doing that
place, it got a special place in my heart. I can tell you that.
That's what's up.
It is what's up. Listen, our buddy Coach Robbie Compton. Best of luck in the draft, Darius. Thank you for taking 45 minutes, an hour out of your night to spend with us with Hokie Nation here. We'll be thinking about you over these next few days, hoping to hear that name called because you deserve it, man.
Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I'm always happy to come back up here. Y'all just shoot me a text or shoot me a DM, and I'll easily come back up here.
Sounds good.
Now, if you do wind up in Nash Vegas, I'm 2 hours away.
He coming.
I'm coming. I'm just letting you know.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, Pheldarius, for jumping on with us tonight.
Yeah, appreciate
you. Y'all have a good one.
Do the same, man. All right, y'all. That was Pheldarius Payne. That was awesome. Thank him so much for his time tonight. And before we kick out of here and come back with a little bit of Portal, we are going to hear a quick word from our sponsor, Main Street Pharmacy, and our digital partners.
I can probably save you a lot of money, and I can take a lot better care of you. That's pretty much it. My name is Jeremy Counts, and I'm a pharmacist. I own and operate Main Street Pharmacy here in downtown Blacksburg. My brother's a pharmacist, I'm a pharmacist, my uncle's a pharmacist, my dad's a pharmacist. I remember he would give me M&Ms to count in little pill counters. It's just something I've always done, and I'm just lucky that what I know so well is something that I can do and feel good about it and give back to people. Pharmacies are your frontline defense. Pharmacy's job is to make sure you're getting optimal care for the lowest price possible. Also, we take the pressure off of emergency rooms. I'll tell people immediately when they need to go to the doctor, or I'll tell them if they just need a cream over the counter. If there's something that isn't commercially available, if it's something that's not available in a certain strength or a certain form or anything like that, we'll make it. Tailor-made medications. Some of those options save people a lot of money. What motivates me? I get to take care of people and live in Blacksburg. That's all I need.
As we take a quick break, we'd like to tell you about getting your free website report from our digital partner, Grassroots Digital Marketing Studio. They'll tell you how your website ranks on Google, on-site SEO, and social media. No commitment to buy anything. You can get your free report by visiting grassrootsdigitalstudio.com/free-website-report. Now back to the episode.
All righty, and we are back. Man, I'm still looking at that menu. They do like late night, bunch of hot dogs, corn dog. Man, we're gonna be in trouble next time we all go down there. We number funnel cakes and fried Oreos all day.
You know, there are worse things in life, man.
True,
Worse things
Right.
in life.
true.
Right.
But again, I mean, that's why we ask these young men that question every time, because usually we always uncover something. We always uncover something cool. But let's talk a little bit. Not gonna be a long episode tonight, folks. After spring game and everything, the portal opened up, and obviously right now we've got several Virginia Tech players in there. And what I wanted to kind of do just amongst us three here is just kind of the surprised or not surprised by the guys who are in there right now. Anyone we think could be going in the next few days. And I'm going to do this in the order they came out in. And Brian, I'll let you go first on this one. Tally, you follow it up. Freshman offensive lineman Gabriel Arena. He was the 6'4", 275 interior guy out of Bishop McDevitt up in Harrisburg. Brian, you pay attention more to that than anybody. So
the interior is a little crowded at the offensive line. I feel like he's the guy that was kind of falling into that bottom part of the muddle there with a couple guys, maybe even a class lower than him, that it kind of already was a step ahead of him on the depth chart. So not a big surprise, him taking another opportunity here. So not shocked on that one.
Tally, any shock on that one?
No, kind of what Brian said, man. It's you got to think some of them guys, man. Coaching change happens. The portal's big now. You bringing people in. It's like you're gonna test it. So wasn't really a surprise if it's crowded and you feel like you don't have a path to get on the field pretty quick. I understand it.
Yeah, and then like to y'all's point, to Brian's point too, it is sort of it is a big room right now. I mean, we take a look at it. We got 15 guys and not recruiting this year. That's a lot of people. And yeah, you want 2 or 3 deep, but realistically, 8 to 10, you start slipping in that bottom 5. Unless you are brand new to campus, it's probably not going to be good for you. And again, there's that opportunity. Go out, find a home for where your next one is. All right, let's hit the next one up here that came out. Tally, I'll let you start with this one. Quarterback Dylan Whitkey. Surprised? Not surprised.
I ain't trying to be mean. I'm surprised he made it that long.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like, I didn't see a way for him to get on the field with the other quarterback in the room, with Pop being in the room, like, and then how they're recruiting that quarterback. I just didn't see a way for him to get on the field. So I would have thought he was either changing positions last year or he would have been leaving. So no surprise.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised given our current scholarship numbers. So I don't think he's the guy that we were saying, hey, if you want to go. But I think it's a guy that he's seeing the writing on the wall. Somebody, again, a class lower than him, pass him on the depth chart, puts him at 3. If he sees a path for himself getting on the field at another school, whether it's G5 or whatever it may be, go do your thing, and best wishes to you. So, definitely, I'd say maybe a little shocked only because of the scholarship numbers.
I got you. I was surprised by this one, and I was more surprised because of the statement Brent Pry made after the spring game. He said, Pop's a little bit ahead, but we've got summer and we've got fall. Like almost that thing of Pop's ahead, but it's not a runaway, right? It's not like Pop's the number 2 guy, ain't no question about it, And Dylan didn't play terrible in the spring game. Like he looked solid in the spring game. So I thought there was a part of us that probably like you kind of want it because you want that depth room. We got Davie Belfort coming in the summer. Got Keldon Ryan already with the class of 2025 locked in. But also to Tally's point, if he didn't feel like there was a way on the field, should he have been gone in January? and that's those decisions those kids have to make, and it's always something different. But right now, only 2 on scholarship. We'll take a look and see what we've done in the portal offers in a little bit here. All right, next one, back to Brian. Traylon Mitchell, running back. Surprised, not surprised?
I was a little surprised just because I think the spring game, created a little bit of conversation as far as kind of who is the number 4 or 5 guy in that kind of pecking order at running back. But it's a little less surprising when you look at kind of what we're doing in terms of portal offers right now.
It's true.
So I think that kind of nets out and says, all right, maybe not as shocking as you think, but I thought I saw some good things from Mitchell in the spring game, but looks like he was kind of using that as a little bit of get a little bit of tape out there for his next move there.
Tally? Surprised?
Yeah, I don't want to say surprised. I'll say surprised by just his name, I guess, but not really surprised by the position. Like when you get 5-6 deep at running back, somebody's one. I was more surprised with Bright Deuce leaving last year. You know, so stuff like that. But I mean, again, man, you got so many opportunities for these kids. I can't fault them for if they have a way to get on the field or get them some NIL money, closer to home or at a smaller school or even a lateral school. Hey, go for it. So, and I think with Coach Brooks, he's looking for a certain type of running back as well. You know what I mean? Like if you start looking at some of the offers and things like that, like, and then you have a running back like Tootin that's on campus now, it's like that floor has been raised. So, can you do this? Can you do this? Because he can do this. You as a running back, if you're number 2 or 3, can you do this? Can you carry the ball this many times? Can you block? Can you, so it kind of gets to that point where you ain't, because Tootin's that kind of running back where you ain't got to swap him out to do different stuff. He can do just about all of it.
He does everything at least a pretty good level, if not great level.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of where it is with what Coach Brooks is doing. Which again, like Robbie said, y'all put Robbie's comment up, because Robbie told us about him even coming out. So when you see playmakers like that, man, in high school, you definitely want them on your roster. But we live in a new age now, man. People ain't gonna sit and. It's a lot of opportunities elsewhere, so I get it.
Yeah, I was surprised by this one just because the room, we only had 5, even if you had another one from the portal.
You mean we didn't have 13 scholarship running backs?
13 scholarship running back. Those days are long gone. We had even 4 is, to me, the right amount. But I think also, he didn't look bad in the spring game, but you look at Mason, who was a true freshman, he looked good. You look at Coney, looked good. Thomas had some big catches. And I think, Tally, you just made maybe even a better point there with the running backs. Tootin is that do-it-all guy. And there is nothing to me Tootin is average in. He is an above-average blocker. He is an above-average pass catcher. He can go inside. He can go outside. And add the element of the kick return. I think that you've got to have that one extra thing that you do exceptional. Mm-hmm. And with Tootin – to me, it's the explosive outside runs, and it's that kick return game where at any second, if you screw up and you miss a tackle, he gone.
Yeah. And let's talk about longevity of running backs too. Like you got to get on the field and put some tape out there if you want to potentially take those next steps if you want to get looked at from an NFL standpoint. So, these guys need to get on the field in order to do that. Yeah. And so sometimes exposure is just as good as level of play in terms of playing. What Power 4 or whatever we calling it now.
Whatever it is. All right. We got a couple more to discuss here. Tally, I'll let you roll with this one. Antonio Cotman Jr., the defensive back, was primarily at safety this spring in the portal. I'm looking here. I know he got offered by UNC Charlotte. Maybe somebody talk to him in a few days here, but
definitely.
I know somebody at UNC Charlotte.
They got Dre Bly down there now, so they seen somebody else wearing some Charlotte stuff too. But anyway, so man, I guess I'll say surprised. Now, I was a big Cotman fan just because I like his size. You know what I'm saying? But I do know as far as scheme goes, it's kind of tough for a kid that has that size, maybe not fast enough to play in some places, but too big to play in some places, too small to play. It's kind of a different tweener position that he has to play in. So, and to be honest with you, man, like we got a lot of people that's fighting for those positions. So, I could understand somebody saying, hey, I got to go explore elsewhere as well. Because, I mean, think about our DB room, think about the star position.
Yeah.
People that's stepping up in those positions, which is kind of why I thought he was playing would be the star position. But then, I mean, you get somebody like Caleb Woodson in there. It's like, same class. What do I do? You know what I mean? So I understand it. I really liked Cotman's size and I liked his potential. So hope he lands somewhere good.
I was not shocked, and I'll tell you a couple reasons why. Number one is that we saw Tally was talking about there the star position between Woodson coming on into last year and Gabe Williams stepping in right away and making an impact this spring. That was kind of a wash. Got moved back to safety for the spring. Definitely some competition there, but what kind of told me that he might not be sticking out pretty good in that position was when we saw a whole lot of Tyler Childress early in the spring game and not a whole lot of Antonio Cotman.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of a flag for me that, all right, maybe this isn't quite going the way I think we wanted it to go, that he wanted it to go. So it doesn't surprise me that he's making that move. Yeah,
we ain't gonna put my man Childers down too much, but Childers, you're gonna have to get you some cleats to stick in the ground, my boy. Because if you playing football and you see your feet in the air, that ain't good. And we definitely seeing your feet in the air. So Childers, we like how you out there playing hard, my boy, but PJ put a move on you.
Yes, he did. I'm going to kind of go with what 1872's got here. It is tough to see anybody leave.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand Cotman leaving because if we take a look at how that safety room and how, like Tally, you mentioned the star position, right?
Yeah.
Those kind of all Gabe stepping up big, Quentin Reddish looking like he's going to be something big, right? Phillips being big. Phillips same class as Cotman, and Phillips is already out there playing last year.
Right.
Reddish looking like he can play day one. So I get it because if they continue recruiting at that level with the safety room, safety is one of those positions, right, that if you've got that little bit of size and you got a little dog in you, you can play early. And I think that's kind of what it was in that case. All right, we got one more guy to discuss here, and that is the linebacker out of Appomattox, Tavorian Copeland. Brian, I know. Go ahead, because I think you were a little surprised by this and a little bit, maybe a little bit downtrodden on Copeland leaving.
Yeah, this is probably the one that shocked me the most, to be honest with you. Okay. I thought he had a lot of promise. I thought it was a position where we've got some older guys that, in whether this year or next year, are probably going to kind of age out, whether it's heading to the NFL or graduating. I thought he was going to maybe have an opportunity at that point, but I also didn't see a ton of him in the spring game where anything stood out to me. So that was a little bit of a concern there as well. But I liked his potential a lot. I thought he had a high ceiling. I think he was still pretty raw, but he had a high ceiling. So this one kind of disappointed me a little bit because I wanted to see kind of where that went.
Tally, anything on Copeland? Surprised, not surprised?
I won't say surprised just because I'm always looking at length and size when you start talking about, where the team is going. So when you see this team getting bigger, he was 6'3", but, 192. This is his second year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, going into his second year. So, of course, I know you can't just pack on pounds like crazy like that because you're running around unless you're old and you're just sitting on the couch. You know what I'm saying?
We can do it.
But
I can manage it pretty good, man.
Quickly.
Yeah, but as far as his size, coming out with the official size and weights, he's still at like 192, something like that. Playing linebacker, I was like, So I just in that aspect, because I don't know what he did on the field, but I'm just saying in that aspect, I kind of could see it because of his size.
Yeah, the size is one point, and again, there was a reason Caleb Woodson moved over and started playing some inside backer, not just star. And Caleb, to your point, Tally, Caleb does have that size. Caleb's same height as Tavorian Copeland, but Caleb's already up to like 225.
Yeah,
he's already there. He's getting there mass wise.
They're built different, man.
Yeah,
kids. You've seen him.
Yeah, and the whole thing about 6'3", 195, could you still play collegiate football? Yeah, but you're probably not going to play linebacker. Are you fast enough for safety? Do you have enough wiggle to do maybe star? And again, if the guys can't adjust to another position, where it's always going to be, if you've got to go, find a place that you can fit, find a place to get you education, and things like that. So, I don't think any were like jaw droppers, but there was a couple like they were still young, wish they could have stayed. All righty. So we just said right there, that was 5, right? Make sure I can count 5. Anybody out there you think maybe come in, because it is exactly 1 week from today is when your name has to be in the portal for the to effectively go elsewhere for the fall season. I'm gonna do some names here real quick, just so y'all can know. These are redshirt seniors. Sam Brumfield, he ain't going anywhere. APR ain't going anywhere. CJ McCray's a wild card with that leg injury. What is CJ deciding to do?
Right, you can't go nowhere where you hurt.
He can't go anywhere, but could he call it a career? Could he say, I'm going to hang it up? Because your leg's injured, you're going to have to rehab. Caden Moore, then you've got Parker Clements, Bob Schick, and Wilfred Panay, who's on the defensive line. Anybody y'all could see leaving? Any younger guys y'all could think leaving? I see on here, what about a Devin Alvis? Saw him in the spring game.
Yeah. Somebody like Alvis I could see, just because, like I said, it's so much competition in those rooms. I could see one of those young guys finding somewhere else to thrive, but you never know. Are we at the scholarship limit yet? Like we're
below. We're under below by 3. We got 3 spots.
We got 3 spots we can give.
Yeah. So Ramon Brown time, right? Yeah. Is that what time it is?
Well, let's see. Brian, you got it. You get it up here for us?
Yeah, let's take a look here.
We got some offers out there. Ramon Brown, we know, is offered. Here it comes.
How many times?
This is courtesy of Colby Crawford with
shout out
24/7.
Colby is
working
doing
hard, man.
God's work keeping this list together. Y'all don't. I go check it 4 times a day. Did Colby get an update? Somebody got offered. First of all, just because he made this announcement yesterday, the ones in red basically have ruled out Tech.
Yeah, they're either committed or they've already let Tech know they are not coming here, which in this case is just Chamblee.
It's just Chamblee. Yeah.
Everybody else has already had some sort of formal commitment out there. Hayden to Colorado, and then Greedy Vance Jr. to USC.
All right. We kind of talked about it last week, and now we're seeing it here. We got 3 spots. Y'all take a look at this. If you're out there listening tonight, who are your 3? So if y'all want to put it in the chat, we'll put it up here. But I'm gonna go with, which one of y'all are really ready?
Anybody who can play offensive line. We need one. So
we need one.
I'll do one. I've never watched any tape on Christopher Adams, but it says he's an offensive tackle. Can you come in and push somebody to play better? That's all I'm asking.
All right, so that's consensus then. We all believe the offensive line.
Yes.
Consensus. Brian, consensus?
Yes. So if you want me to give 3, I can give 3 right now.
All right. Well, we know offensive line's 1. So who are your other 2?
All right. So we got, if I had to pick 3 names off this list, Give me Adams, give me Caleb Spencer, and give me a pick 'em between Ramon Brown or Penny Boone. Boone more immediate upside. I think Brown has more eligibility, so it's just kind of a pick your poison with that.
All right. Tally, we know Chris Adams. Go ahead, write it on.
Yeah, so Chris Adams, we'll say Chris Adams, just because I see it, offensive tackle. I'm gonna say Ramon Brown. He's visited too much for them to have ruled him out or him not to be coming. He's still been visited. I think he just came up for the spring game, so hell, he might. I don't know what he's doing, but I'm gonna say Ramon Brown. I feel like I'm still salty because we lost that recruiting battle and he went to Maryland. So just for my own selfish reasons, give me him. And I mean, safety wise, man, just the LSU safety. I'll take him. I would say Caleb Spencer, but man, he comes from that private school there in Virginia, and I don't think that they're real high on. Like, that's where Cotman came from. So I think he's the only kid. Yeah, I think he's the only kid that we got from there. So I don't see that working out for us. I'll take him, but I just don't see it working out. So
all right. I'm not far behind y'all. With Adams is definite. Get him in here. And in totality, to your point, regardless what the tape says, make it say something, make a statement to make other people play better. Like, he's coming. He's got 2 years of eligibility left. You want your job, beat him out. And the next one, I'm with y'all. It's got to be a running back. To me, it's got to be Ramon. If they offer another one in the next few days here, that's great. Let's do it. Just because with Penny Boone, it's unless you tell me Malachi Thomas is leaving, which if that happens, pull the trigger on Penny Boone real quick because you need your 1B there, or your 2. The last one I'm a little torn about because yes, do we need safety help? Absolutely. Right now it's Stroman Phillips. Where's Quentin at? But I keep leaning because there's 2 offers out there, the kid from Arkansas State and the kid from Yale. I think with CJ going down, and I know I mentioned they obviously we saw a little stuff from Jason Abbey. We saw a little stuff from James Jeanette, right? I think they don't feel completely comfortable with a 4th defensive end. So for me, give me a defensive end because if we're rushing the passer, we may not need the best back end play. So I'll take just because his name's Larry. Give me Ezekiel.
So I'm kind of with you on that a little bit, but you still got to have safety help in the run game. So that's going to be important too. But don't sleep on maybe Diani Hill being that kind of nickel safety hybrid that we saw that our buddy David Cunningham mentioned last time he was on there, that Tay Daly type that could maybe come in and kind of play that like a little bit of swing nickel and safety and be that type of player. So that might be the option that kind of shores up nickel, shores up safety, all in one player. And that might be something that we go if we're trying to go that route to help with the nickel position as well.
Yeah.
Here's a question for Curtis right quick.
Yeah.
Because we've talked a lot, and I don't think none of us have said it, so I know you're the more analytical one. We know who Kyron Drones is.
Mm-hmm.
And we know who Pop Watson is.
You testify. I know what you're about to say.
Who else is in the quarterback room?
That's true. And we did offer the kid from UCLA who played last year.
Right. So I was about to say, I mean, what do we got to get a quarterback, Curtis? What are we doing?
Well, if you want to play, I think what they have to do in that situation is they have to feel where Pop is. Can Pop manage the game? Is the defense good enough? Is the running game good enough? Where can Pop manage? If it's where he's not there to manage yet, maybe you take the kid. But it's also convincing this guy who played last year. Go look at his numbers. He didn't have terrible numbers at UCLA. Solid numbers. Convincing him, you number 2.
At best.
At best. You might be 3, but we need you.
Yeah, I think the other thing is, it's not just can Pop manage the game. We know how Pop plays the game, right? So
Right.
you get Pop in there, he's still a slightly undersized quarterback
True.
from
gets
a
hit.
Power 5 perspective, and we know how he plays the game. You know, you're one rush, you're one scramble away from having to get, you know, either a Davi in there or, you know, a walk on in there. So that's a pretty rough situation to be in. So I mean, I could see us going that route. You're walking a little bit of a fine line though, because you got to bring in a guy that is comfortable with that position, knowing that barring something significant happen, Pop's got the keys whenever Kyron moves on.
It's true. All right. I have not seen this. So did something happen? Somebody, Brian, throwing out here?
I haven't seen an off that we've offered him, but I know he's in the portal. So I think
what's that kid's name?
Some Owens. I don't know who it is.
Is it Zach?
Zach Owens.
Zach Owens. All right. Yeah. No list yet. Now I know a lot of times Colby's working throughout the day and he drops it later in the evening. So that's why I'm going defensive end right there. Because if Cole Nelson or God forbid APR goes down, I mean defensive end is not looking great. So again, I mean we can look at the kid from Georgia Tech, from Baltimore.
Yeah.
We know Peebles is gone next year, right? We know Fuga's gone next year. There's what's so interesting about this is there's so many intriguing offers where we could literally go through this list and be like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense for this year and next year. That makes sense for the next 3 years. That makes sense for the next 2 years. So again, they're being selective, but I think we stick here and say, hold on, I'm gonna put this up real quick. Y'all agree with that?
Yep.
I agree.
No comment.
Nope.
No comment. I got to comment. So yes, I do agree with it. You know, and as much shit as I give Grant Wells, I definitely am. Y'all know how I feel about the situation. I can't really say that because, man, we were winning those games so handily, man, and he did sacrifice a lot for the team, man. He came to a ship that was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So if they felt the need to get him in, man, to get him some, you know, to finish out his college career, like I ain't mad at it. Now I do understand what Train is saying, you know, looking to the future. That would have helped for Pop to get those snaps, but at the same time, I do understand. I think this coaching staff has a little bit of a human element. So, you know, to get him in there and give him some burn, I can't be mad at him because of that. Hell, he almost scored a 70-yard touchdown if he wouldn't have failed.
So close. So close.
So close.
You know?
And to Curtis's point, I mean, I think right now a lot of this is dependent on what the recovery timetable is going to be like for CJ McCray, right? So
yeah, definitely.
You know, we think a broken leg, you think, you know, 6 to 8 weeks probably in terms of healing. You're probably adding another, you know, 4 to 6 in rehab. So we're probably talking about sometime
right before
mid to, we're talking about right before camp, right into camp, before you're even starting to get into any sort of actual recovery outside of just, you know, your typical rehab. So is a month going to be enough time to gear him up? I think if his timetable is he can be full go by end of September, defensive end is probably less of an issue because you probably aren't going to, fingers crossed, hit a major injury that's going to impact you depth-wise that quick. But if his timetable is something more like mid to late October, yeah, go get you a defensive end.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, just so it's just Thomas, we'll take care of you here, man.
Oh no, Thomas, you all good, man. That's a good comment.
It is a good comment. But I'm gonna tell y'all what not to do. If you want to waste your time, don't do it. If you want to waste time, do it. Get on 3 and do that transfer portal page and just start clicking and just seeing, like, I mean, there is a just announced a few minutes ago a freshman safety out of Kentucky is entering the portal. Kid basically went up on rankings, and I don't know if he played last year or not. Like you talking about rabbit hole stuff. Let me go to offensive tackle now. Guy from Dion's kicking a guy out. Looks like he's going to Syracuse.
Man, what the fuck do Dion got going on, man? It's just too Hollywood for me, man. Like I said, like even at the start, no shade to Dion. Everybody was all on the Dion train. You know, I'm gonna just speak from my perspective down here where I'm at. Like I seen Alabama fans going and buying Colorado stuff. And I was like, yeah, Dion is cool. You know, I understand, like, we grew up watching Dion and he's flashy and stuff like that. But when you become a coach or when you get in certain positions, man, I just feel like he kind of doomed himself from the beginning because of the way that he talked and some of the stuff he said. So when you hit rough patches in your season, like, I ain't going to feel bad for you. Now you got kids transferring out. Like when you first got there, you told kids, oh, y'all need to jump in the portal because I'm bringing my own bags and they Louis and this and man, you just got to have some kind of tact when you coaching. So again, Dion can do it his way, but if you do it your way like that, you got to win. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Well, the other part I want to ask is this, because both of y'all playing the game at high levels, especially on the lines. You keep turning. Can there be any continuity? I mean,
tough. It's tough, man.
For both of y'all, because Tally, you played on, you weren't a lineman, but you played at tight end. I mean, you always talk about your buddy. You knew when he was going to screw up.
Yeah.
Like you knew when he was going to screw up. At least you could say, well, I got to at least give the best chip of my life to maybe save him. How tough is that? Like,
it's tough, man. You can take 5-stars and put them on a line, and they still can struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a given that you just go and recruit these guys and they're going to come in and produce for you. Like, especially at offensive line, like offensive linemen a lot of times are like some of the smartest guys on the team, man. They got a lot of stuff, especially like your center position, calling different plays out. You know, you got to know where everybody is. And then the continuity, knowing how fast this guy is going to pull. So I got to be able to take this step or not take this step for him to have his spots. You know, just different things like that you just don't get when you continually switch up and you continuously changing and things like that. It's what's been our problem. You know, you got different coaches coming in and then you got different players. You can't stay with the same 5 linemen. Like, that's going to be a problem for him because Shadour's a talent, man. Like, Shadour's really good, but as we seen last year, if you ain't got no line, they're going to get him killed. So who are you putting in front of him?
Yep.
And, then when people are leaving and you got different things going on, I just feel like they're getting too involved with the Hollywood side of it. We need this, or, if you don't want to be here, leave. And, you got the players talking about it and things like that. I just feel like, man, y'all got to go win. Y'all got to quit getting caught up in that hype.
And that thing started blowing up a little bit with McClain kind of putting them on blast a little bit. And I know corner is different than offensive line. There's a whole lot more that goes into, like, you can put a corner out on the island and say, go out there, you cover the best guy, and you bring somebody else in that can do that, and you don't miss too much of a beat as long as you're talent wise about at the same level. Offensive line, I mean, it takes so much development and it takes so much of continuity across the different positions and working with the same group and working with the right combination of talents and things like that. There's so much that you can't just go in there and tinker with multiple positions every year on that line and think you're just going to put 5 out there that you can bring in every year and it's going to work every time. You can do it. I mean, but you're kind of catching lightning in a bottle a little bit. I mean, we think about like Duke a couple years ago when they brought in 4 or 5 G5 linemen and a couple FCS linemen, and they ended up gelling pretty quick and things worked out for them and they were able to kind of turn their season around. It still wasn't the best line out there, but compared to what they had before, they did a good job of repairing that offensive line in the transfer portal, but that's kind of the exception to the rule. Usually it's like a one piecer, right? You bring in one guy to fill in the big hole you have that can kind of work with everybody else that's already there. And I think, that's where he's getting into trouble, is that some of these positions you can just bring in the best guy and it works. Wide receivers like that, quarterbacks like that, cornerbacks like that. I'd say probably even defensive end is like that, but not all these positions can you just bring in a guy and expect that to work time in, time out.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens out there. Hit it and kind of reiterate to, or re-emphasizing both of y'all here is Robbie. So yeah. But as far as the Hokies go, hopefully in the next few days we get to see a few portal ads, see a few portal, maybe a couple more leaving, maybe a few guys saying they're done.
Yeah, let's get a couple green squares.
Yeah, there you go. You want the green from Colby.
Yeah, we gotta get the green.
He'll get up. And again, or, be like me, just go down the rabbit hole of On3 transfer portal and say, let's get that kid.
And then put it in an email to Pry and be like, hey.
Yes.
And the crazy
still out there.
And the crazy thing about
tag.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about Curtis is he don't have time to do this.
I don't.
Like, he don't got time to be going on there and going down this rabbit hole because he got so much stuff to do. Work, kids, more kids, dog, wife. Like, you got all this stuff to do, and then you go down a rabbit hole, and then you sending us stuff. And we definitely ain't got time to go down it, so we just got to get on the phone and ask you what's going on.
Well, it happens. You get little breaks, you get little pockets, and you're looking at it, and that's the rabbit hole. Or it's 10:30 at night, and it's like, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I have avoided it, though. I have been good to avoid it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, going back to the Zach Owens thing, man, he put out earlier – looks like 5 hours ago, he's been contacted by 35 schools. We are one of them. I don't know if that means that we have officially put an offer out there or anything like that.
He ain't coming here.
Everywhere from Colorado to Oklahoma.
Of course.
Well, didn't Colorado just sign an offensive tackle? They're going to put him in the portal and take this kid instead?
Maybe. Hey, we got to get this.
And he's listed everything. He got G5s out there all the way up to, like I said, Oklahoma and USC.
We need this Virginia bill to go ahead and kick in so we can pay for us to get
I think we can float it at this point.
Yeah, let's do something. Let's do something.
We can do the whole, what is it? It's retroactive.
On July 1st, you will get your
money.
Your money.
We're going to throw fried Oreos in all till that time comes. So, shoot, we done found a place with fried Oreos.
That's a big boy, though. 6'6", 375. That's a tank, man.
I don't know if that'd work with what we do. But you probably look at the tape. He probably like 5.0 speed at 375. And I think other downhill. Man. All right. What else has happened this evening, boys? What an hour and 19.
I don't think nothing, man.
All righty. Well, let's wrap it up again. Wraps up. We're wrapping up this. Jesus Christ, I can't talk right now.
Which one you doing?
I'm doing them all, man. That's going to wrap up this episode of the Boundary Corner Podcast, brought to you by Main Street Pharmacy in Blacksburg. I'm Curtis Wilson.
I'm Brian Siegler.
Jonathan Talley.
Check out BoundaryCornerVT.com for all the episodes, merchandise shop. Check us where we're out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that fun stuff there as well. All the podcast sources you can think of, we are on them all. As I told somebody at work the other day, we're on them all. You click one, you'll find us. As always, Jason Long places in, places out. Check out jasonlongmusic.com. Check out his live events down in the NRV. Also, links to all of his places on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. We thank you y'all for listening tonight. And a special shout out again, P Squared, the Major Payne, Pheldarius Payne, for giving his time for the interview. And as always, boys, let's go.
Hokies.
Hokies.